Good morning, everybody. It's a Friday and it's the 12th of June. Now, I'm calling this Frenzied Friday. It was going to be Now Friday. In fact, it could have been called Frazzled Friday because I was a bit frazzled because my laptop started acting up and if anybody writes any projects or anything, it's frightening when your work seems to disappear into the ether. So I panicked because I couldn't find the folder with the manuscripts for my books on it. So it was panic, panic, panic. And it was very difficult at these times of panic and overwhelming that you have to do like even my ABC tips. I'm fortunate that I have a fabulous friend, Walter, who went, right, calm down, the work has not gone. It's safe, it's just not where you think it would be. So anyway, we managed to recover whatever was there. So that was absolutely fabulous. So I'm calling this one, oh, another word was my friend Dave, I think he's watching just now, but he said Fiendish Friday. And I thought, well, we could maybe call it fiendish, but then I thought that kind of means cruel, or it can mean cruel. And I thought, well, there've been so many fiendish things we've had to put up with, not just lockdown, the social distancing, but so many messages that we get that are confusing. So I decided maybe it should just be Frenzied Friday. So, Frenzied Friday, and frenzied to me, I'm going to sort of think about getting wildly excited about something. So, I bet we are excited. We're probably excited about it being Friday. Well, maybe not, because if we've been in social distancing and lockdown every day, the weekends seem to morph into the weeks and the days, and sometimes we don't even know what day it is. Remember, on Wednesday, I thought it was Friday. So it's very, very difficult. But I thought, well, we need to get excited about something. So how can we get excited and frenzied? We can, because if we start thinking about the wonderful things that we are going to do when this situation is over. Now, before we think about that, I think we do need to remember be grateful, in fact, that we've come through this, that people have come through it, and to be thankful for all those emergency workers, all the others who have been keeping the country going, the drivers, the bus drivers, lorry drivers, everyone. And of course, our hearts and thoughts must go out to all of those people who have passed away and to their families and everyone who will miss them. So I think we should just do a short affirmation, a group affirmation. We are grateful and thank you. So, what are we going to be doing? What's on your bucket list, your wish list? Well, before looking at that, and hopefully you've got your bucket list or that jar that you're putting things in or your aspiration board, I think you need to look at things that you really should stop doing. That's focus less on worry and stress. Reflect on the positives and you'll be less overwhelmed. I think particularly during times of crisis, you need to be proactive in reducing your stress and anxiety and lifting your mood. I think I found this when I thought I'd lost work on the computer. It's like the straw that breaks the camel's back. We seem to cope through really challenging times and then suddenly something happens and we're just overwhelmed. And it's difficult at these moments to actually even probably do an affirmation. The best thing is, of course, the breathing. I don't think I could even do that when I thought I'd lost everything. It was difficult. You're like, so I had to kind of just stop for a minute, a second really, and just take that deep breath. So research shows that in order to be happy and be excited about life, you need to stop listening to and watching negative news and programs, catastrophes, all these kind of things, because that can overwhelm you again. And of course, use the C of my ABC. That's mindfulness meditation. When you use your creative imagination, then it really helps you to kind of change your mindset. Now, it works for most people. I think I've talked about it before, that clearing your mind can be difficult. It's a bit like if somebody says to me, or you see a notice saying wet paint, don't touch it. The first thing you want to do is touch it. I know I do. So when somebody says clear your mind, the first thing I think about is my mind gets filled with ideas. So it can be difficult. It's a case of kind of practicing it. And one of the ways you can practice to clear your mind is focus on your breathing. So when you're saying to yourself, I need to clear my mind, think about your breath, your deep breathing intake, taking the breath in, think of the breathing going in, so and out, and it fills your body and your mind. What can you do to change your mindset, change the way you think? Well, yesterday I think was, or recently I talked about being perfect. Well, this often stops you from achieving your goal, and sometimes stops you from even starting. We're frightened of failing, we're frightened of succeeding. So what you can do again is your affirmation. You affirm, I do the best I can with the tools I have to hand at the time. And when you do that in a particularly stressful situation, just saying these words really does help. And of course, you're actually, by doing that, taking control of the situation. I've talked often in previous videos about we worry about the things that we have no control over. And so what's the point of that? If you've no control over something, stop worrying about it. Worry about the things you can control, and of course, take action. That's the main thing. And that reduces anxiety and worry. When I talk about being wildly excited again, I think don't obsess about it. We get sometimes so hung up on how we're going to kind of achieve the big goal, the big vision, that we forget all the little steps. Remember, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with some small steps. So focus on the small things. Focus on the small things that make you happy each day. Be grateful. Have your gratitude list. Remember the tip about keeping a journal. When you've got a journal or a diary or a notebook, it's like actualizing things. It's actually making things real. And this isn't your War and Peace book. It's not a massive book. It's just writing down each day something that makes you happy. And you could ask yourself these questions when you're about to write something down. It's difficult sometimes when people say to me, have you ever been at a workshop and they say, right, write down your thoughts. I can go into a panic thinking, oh, I don't know what to write. And you see other people writing everything and you think, what are they writing? You're trying to squint over at what they're writing. Well, what things can help there is asking yourself questions like, what situations make you happy? What have you achieved? Remember even the small things. It might have been, I don't know, baking a loaf of bread, something you've done new. Small things. Doesn't have to be massive. And then what you're grateful for. Do you show kindness to yourself and others? And in what way do you do that? So when you write these things down, it reminds you of things that make you happy. And in addition to that, you can then also reflect back on it. It's always interesting. I've always kept diaries and notes, and sometimes I can write even this has been a bad day. So I've written about, challenging time with my laptop breaking down. So and I can almost look back and laugh at myself. I can look back and go, oh, did I have that terrible day? And then another day I can have a really good day. And you think, oh, that was a good day. So it's creating, just reflecting back on how you're dealing with something. And then you can maybe, if it's been a bad day, you can change how you deal with something in the future. I've also referred in previous videos to declutter. I think decluttering can be helpful. Now, we're not talking about changing your whole room, your whole house, maybe just decluttering your desk. When you sort of take charge of doing something like that, something small, and particularly if you're working from home. And lots of people before this lockdown have been working from home, working remotely. But what's different is, which they perhaps didn't realise at the time, but they've got family round about. So you've got dogs, cats, children maybe crawling over your laptop, trying to multitask again. So if you kind of declutter everything round about you and set yourself kind of a space that it can calm you down. And remember, my FA and SE always have FE full attention on what you're doing, and try and get, not babies obviously, but young children are quite quick to learn. Look, this is mummy or daddy or the carer's time to do something, and then I'll turn and do something with you. And when you promise that, you have to follow it through so that they know you mean it. And then you can give full attention to that. So whether it's playing with Play-Doh or reading them a story or playing outside with them, you have to follow through with that. Now, if you find you're getting I'm a bit of a hoarder. I love books. And I know that if you're an extreme hoarder, that can be a problem. And if, of course, you're that, you really should seek professional help. But lots of us are hoarders in certain ways. I love papers, I love books, so it's quite difficult for me to think, well, will I get rid of all of these? I know there's Kindle, we can have books online, thousands possibly, but I quite like holding the book and kind of flicking through it and looking at different pages and going back to like my stickomancy. Remember, that's you randomly choosing a passage or a line that you need to see at that time. So there's kind of nothing wrong in that, but just be careful it doesn't sort of get extreme. Get out into nature. That's another thing that can really excite us. Nature's just wonderful, and I think we've seen nature blooming during this time we've been in lockdown. It's kind of coming into its own. Nature, the countryside or the seaside, whatever you feel. And of course, if you can't get out just now, open the back door. Breathe in the air. I'm sure pollution is lessening, so it maybe is fresher air just now. So, and even just looking up at the clouds, looking up at the sky. Now it's a grey day, but I see actually some white clouds and it's tinged with some grey and blue. So it's interesting. They change every second and no two clouds are the same. The formation doesn't come back in the same way. So that makes me feel happy, and it can make you feel really good. Many people are feeling scared just now, and I think the scaring, we were scared when we were going into lockdown. We were scared if something went wrong with us going into hospital. We're now scared about going out. If we're allowed out, what's going to happen? So it's maybe a difficult time to feel wildly excited about something. But I think you can feel more positive if you keep in touch with family, with friends, by phone or on video calls. When wanting to listen to any news, of course, find a credible source. I found it quite difficult because when you look at all the social media, the radio, the television, everything, we're bombarded with news, and it all tends to be doom and gloom, and that can overwhelm you. And of course, on social media, many stories. I mean, recently we've not just had the lockdown, but we're now having obviously the Black Lives Matters, and I mean, all lives matter, we know that, but it's just creating a kind of scaremongering along lots of people, and I think we have to be as positive as we can. So try and restrict yourself to watching the news. I would say once a day, and just to get an update on what's happening. And then you need time to switch off. You need time for yourself. And this is where I know I have to laugh, but I'm sure the bathroom is becoming the go-to place for many people just now. If you're alone, then have a fun game maybe with friends online. If you can't be online, then watch a comedy film or just dance and sing around the room yourself. If you're alone, there's nobody to watch you. You can really feel good. Sing at the top of your voice, hopefully maybe not annoying the neighbours. There's one chap I was was watching, he plays the bagpipes, and they were saying, do you do, he said, oh yes, it really cheers me up. And they said, but what about your neighbours? And he said, well, yeah, don't do it too much, obviously kind of warn them when I'm doing it, and don't do it in the middle of the night. One thing that has helped many people, I think, throughout this difficult time is helping and supporting others, being kind. We've seen a lot of this, people supporting their local shops delivering to people in their area, people donating to food banks, charities, and doing whatever you can to those less fortunate than you are. And of course, if things are too difficult to handle, you really need to not be frightened of asking for help. Before I do my Mind Bites meditation, I thought we might, I was thinking about, if you're trying to get frenzied or wildly excited about something, then explore the mystery of life. Sort of take yourself in your imagination, and we'll do that with, I'm going to be doing, I think, the golden path. So many people have had their routine broken down, and for many weeks that's been happening. And many have been and still are trying to fill that void, that emptiness, the empty space that was filled with their work. People were used to going to work. And of course, now we're at home, we're all kind of almost forced to be together. So some people will have adopted spiritual practices. Some will be leaving or considering leaving maybe relationships that are no longer working. And many, I hope, are stopping, and I hope you have been doing this if you've been listening to me, that you've been stopping your bad habits and replacing them with the good habit. And the ones that are easy that I developed was my ABC. And I'm human, I've talked about that. I find it difficult when there's moments you can get overwhelmed. And in these moments, the go-to one is my B, the breathing. Just take a deep breath, take 3 deep breaths if you can. Now remember, whatever you do or dream you can do, begin it now. Being bold and courageous is powerful. So go forward with wild excitement. So I hope I'm going to do this Mind Bites meditation that makes you feel good. We did one yesterday or Wednesday where we were filling, it was the laughter meditation. We were just imagining our body and mind being filled from head to toe with laughter, with that feel good factor. So we're going to do the golden path, and you can choose what path that you think will take you forward with wild excitement. So if we have our shoulders back and we need to have our feet on the ground. It's grounding yourself. And again, if you can do any of these outside in nature, it's wonderful. So if we take, I quite like closing my eyes. You don't need to, but closing your eyes and just taking a deep breath in through the nose, hold, and then exhale through the mouth. Take another deep breath in through the nose, hold, and as you exhale, let stress and tension leave your body and mind. Now, when you take a deep breath in through the nose, using your imagination, think of something that makes you feel happy, feel excited, yet calm and happy. Take another deep breath in through the nose and hold and exhale through the mouth. When you take a deep breath in, I want you to imagine that you're part of the earth. You're just grounding yourself there. and it helps you focus and feel part of something really exciting. Keep imagining the peaceful, happy place. You feel a sense of calm and relaxation, but you feel energized and excited because as you move forward, you're moving forward along a path that you're going to see a fork in the path. There's a path to the left and there's a path to the right. Now it's your choice. You are going to walk towards the one that's drawing you towards it. What is exciting you? What's making you feel happy? And it's as if, almost with wild abandon, you want to follow a path that takes you perhaps to somewhere new. When you're doing your deep breathing in and hold and exhale, it helps you to remain calm but energized. Affirm and say to yourself, I am confident, I'm excited, I'm enthusiastic about the path I take. I know it's the right one for me. This path opens up opportunities for me. Now you can slowly open your eyes and walk forward along the path you have chosen. And you will find yourself becoming more and more confident. And say the affirmation, this is exciting. I move forward with excitement and confidence. I know that there are opportunities ahead for me. Now, I'm going to say to you, enjoy the adventure. And that's the adventure in your mind, and you will feel frenzied, wildly excited. I hope you've enjoyed that meditation, slightly different, but it's taking you forward today, hopefully with excitement and positivity. Laughter, remember, is the best medicine. And it's stress and tension can leave your body when you do these mindfulness meditations. Short, but very effective. Now, my live video on Monday is going to be earlier. It's going to be at 9 o'clock because I have got a conference call at 10 that I can't miss. So I'm sorry for that. But it means if you don't catch it at 9, you can catch it on the YouTube channel. But on Wednesday I'll return till 10 o'clock. I know that with people maybe now working different shifts and maybe perhaps working in a different way, miss my live videos, but you can catch them up on my YouTube channel. And I can't thank you enough, everybody, for watching and listening. It inspires and motivates me, and I feel wildly excited by everything that you're bringing to it as well. And thank you very much. Virtual hugs to all, and I shall catch you all on Monday at 9 o'clock. Have a fabulous weekend, and virtual hugs and kisses. Thank you.